and to be clear about what you're working on, right? So, and that's another big factor is how big is your goal? How big is your dream? On the Dry Flush podcast where I talked about the toilets, I said, in that particular business, I don't want to do certain things because I know what's entailed in those certain things. Sometimes if you just want to run a business that makes 200-300 grand a year profit, you probably need to do $1 million and a bit turnover if you've got a good business. That's totally different than trying to build a 9-figure net worth, which some people listening are trying to do. So it depends on your goals. Because you've got another one you're starting right now.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is to with both the brands to exceed well over 8 figures in an exit. So we're trying to build these to $10 million businesses plus.
One of them though is established.
One of them's established.
And the new one,
which funnily enough is an ice bath. Business. It's an ice bath and sauna blanket. It's a wellness company. So,
but you're going to sell at Shopify, not Amazon.
We're going to do both. We're going to do both.
So, what phase are you in with that?
So we're basically first 3 products are arriving at Amazon at the moment. So we're starting with a mainstream affordable product
sourced from China, I'm guessing.
Yes.
So you're dealing with China time, dealing with Australia time. So you're sourcing, you're going to have all the problems and shit show of dialing in your marketing, dialing in what's wrong with the product.
But again, right, like this all comes back to me and my specific needs as an entrepreneur, right? Like responsibility is really, really high up on my strengths, right? So when things weren't going well, I would jump in, take responsibility. But in that process, I would kill the other person's creativity or autonomy. And I would also drain myself of all my energy because even though responsibility was a high thing or high strength, there's a shadow side to that which drains me of my energy. So I'm making a real conscious effort to do less of the doing and to do more of the inspiring the others to grow around me. But that's where I'm at now in the business. I've had 3 years of having to do it all myself, but that 3 years has also taken its toll. So I think it is important that it's like the book, The One Thing, which I think you recommended me, Adam. It says things like entrepreneurship and your business and your career, they're rubber balls. You can drop those balls and they'll always bounce back. Things like your health and your relationships, they're glass balls. You drop those once, they crack, and sometimes they're irreparable. And so to your point, sometimes in startup phase, it's what you have to do. But you can't do that forever necessarily because the relationships can begin to crack.
Yeah, and I think it is a very important point there to acknowledge that they are glass balls that you're juggling there.
Yeah.
And I do not agree with that grind culture at all costs because that is just dumb.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to cash in your relationship or your health in exchange for it, unless your relationship sucks and you're actually doing it to get out away from your wife or your whatever, that's fine if you're destroying it on purpose. But health is no joke, and I've seen a lot of guys take years to recover.
With that whole grind ethos, it may sound like get up at 3:45, crushing it right through till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is not a forever period. It was from my specific.
And you're eating well and exercising.
It gets done every single day.
You don't go out and get on the piss.
Oh, okay, occasionally, I'll be honest.
But occasionally, right?
Yeah. So you can't run that regime on the sauce. It doesn't work. You fucking die. I tried it.
I thought you were going to say you can't run it forever, and I'm like, unless you're Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, but to that point of the grind, it's like, okay, cool. It's like a sprint, if you will. We've just gone through a turnaround. And this week, last week, my business partner hired a new ops manager who's way overqualified for the role, which is great. You're hiring much smarter people than us. They're sector specific because you're going to run this thing with his eyes closed. So that grind for him is now at a point, it's in handover. Cool, we can then go back focus on doing deals. And that was the whole thing. And so what I'm doing here is the grind now to be able to then replace myself with a much higher caliber person, which comes down to recruitment, which I find a fucking pain in the ass. So we're going to outsource the recruitment very shortly as well of said people. So then I'll step out of that role. That part of the grind is going to be done, template built, and then we go back to doing deals, which is my complete joy is going putting deals together, not doing this business. So the grind, absolutely short burst. You can't do it forever.
Yeah. You got to go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just going to say that there's there's a concept in the book, The One Thing, called counterbalance. You know, I remember maybe 6 months ago, 12 months ago, my brother-in-law said, mate, like, you know, how do you fit it all in? Because you've got a kid now. Like, how do you fit it all in? I've just had my second kid. You know, I'm trying to do. He's a house consultant, so house and land sales. He's like, how the hell do you fit it all in? And I'm like, mate, you can't all the time. And I basically introduced him to that concept of counterbalance. And it's like, it's short sprints. You can go periods of time where your focus for the next 6 months needs to be on work or doing sales. So if the market is booming, for example, you say to Alicia and the little ones, you say, look, I'm not going to be as present for the next 6 months because I'm going to be really, really busy. I'm going to be putting in the grind. I'm going to be setting ourselves up for, you know, the next couple of years. But at that time when he asked me, the market wasn't that busy. And I'm like, mate, you could continue to make call after call after call after call. But the dynamics of the market at the moment mean that you're going to get limited output from those calls. So spend a little bit more time with your family. Now is the time to be relaxing a little bit more with your family because the market is not booming, because it's a very cyclical business. So it's understanding where you are in your life cycle and
where
being
your
able to
business
counterbalance.
where your business is in its cycle. Sometimes,
exactly.
like if you're in real estate, there are flows. There are times when you should be paddling onto a wave, and there are times you just need to be sitting at the back and waiting for the surf to pick up.
I remember I didn't go to a really good mate's wedding because I was just so like, and kind of feel a little bit guilty about it now, but I was just so like at that moment in that 6 months, I was just working. My head was down.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Unemployable. If you want to watch another clip, click here, or if you want to see the full episode, click here. Bye for now.